love gnomes. I love making the gnomes. I love the big giant gnomes. And I need to make a scarecrow one for my door. Gotta make one for my door. I am going to be using some fun things. Now I'm going to be putting it on my front door. So I am going to be using the Unique in the Creek triangle board. I preloaded my zip ties already. I preloaded all of 12, 11, 10, 9, and the 2 outside ones on 8. Hi, Annette. Hi, good morning, everybody, wherever you are. Hello. So I'm using the triangle board. I'm using zip ties. I am using deco tubing. Now you can use yarn and you can use fun fur. You can use all kinds of stuff. I'm going to be using deco tubing. This is just like a natural burlap deco tubing. And I'm also going to be incorporating raffia into the deco tubing as well. Hi, Michelle Oak. So this raffia, it's not like normal raffia. You know, normal raffia or real raffia is almost like paper-like, and it's like a natural product. This raffia that I bought is almost it's plastic. It's plastic. It's a thin layer of plastic, and you can still shred it like normal raffia. And then when you open it up, hi everybody, floated it up the ocean. Holy great, all the way up the ocean. So you can still, when you open it up, you can still shred it like normal raffia, and it looks exactly like normal raffia. But you don't have the mess because it comes on a spool like this. This is a 1/4 inch. I'm not sure how long it is. I bought this a few years back at papermart.com. Okay, I just checked Papermart and they still do have this kind of raffia, and they have it in a gazillion colors. Like seriously, they have it in a lot of colors. But it's plastic and it's awesome, and it doesn't make a mess because it's on a spool like ribbon and stuff. So, and it's only two something. Anyways, check it out on Papermart. It's a 1/4 inch. This color is oatmeal, the oatmeal color, and it's oatmeal raffia matte, M-A-T-T-E, and it's papermart.com. And if you like to use raffia, this stuff is amazing to use. Like I said, it doesn't make a mess all over the place, and it will last, and it won't go moldy because it's plastic. I put a hole in the thing, and it looks like the SKU number is 4434857. 1/4 inch oatmeal matte raffia, papermart.com. Okay, so this is what I'm using, and I'm just putting it on my spool holder. Hi everybody. Hello! Hello, Suzanne. Hello. So I got it in oatmeal and I got it in black. And like I said, I bought it a few years ago, and I bought 2 rolls of each color, and it seems to last forever. Like I just opened this second spool. So the first spool has seemed to last me forever. Like, I don't know how much is on here. It doesn't really say, but I'm sure it'll say on the website. But I've used it forever. Hi everybody. Okay, thank you, Tina Kelly. So, like I said, we're going to be using the Unique in the Creek triangle board. I have a sunflower I'm going to be putting on his hat. I have this sunflower ribbon. Now, I'm not going to be making a bow or anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this ribbon to make some patches and put some patches on his hat. And I also got this plaid to make a patch for his hat. And I got just this little bit of burlap. I got this at the dollar store. It was like 3 rolls in there, different colors. And I'm just going to use this little pieces, cut them in little squares as a patch for his hat. So that's not till the end, so we'll just put this stuff over here. And for his hat, I'm going to be using this felt hat. This felt hat is very, very thick. Okay. Sorry, I'm gotta pull up the comments here. I am going live tonight still, but right now I'm playing. Tonight is live is like all business, you know. So this hat will be on our website later on. It's very, very thick felt. Okay, and there's the front and there's the back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half, because when you slide it on the triangle board, we're going to slide it on, and I'm going to glue it, but I only need one side of the hat for this. So I can use the other side for another hat, okay? And this stuff is really thick. So like I said, this will be on our website later on today or tonight if you want to make one as well. But it's really, really sturdy. Really sturdy. I'm going to try cutting it in half now. So I'm just going to go up the seam. Let's try this. Here we go. And if you're lazy and you don't feel like cutting your hat, you can just slide it right over top and glue it right on. It's hard to get through the, there we go. It was hard to get through this string or this rope. Okay, so I'm just cutting up, trying to cut up the edge or the seam. There we go, we'll just rip it. If you have a seam ripper, even better. So we're opening it up, and then I'm just going to go straight back down. Now you have 2 hats. You can make 2 gnomes. Ooh, it's hard to get through the juke rope. There we go. Yeah, if you have a seam cutter, it's probably better just to clip the stitching on the seam. There we go. Okay, so we got 2 hats now. Yay! So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the hat on afterwards. Hopefully. Let's see if this one makes better. Oh, did I cut it too much? I might have cut it too much. Oh well, we'll have to figure it out. 2 times in one day, yes. Yes, yes. Oh, it should work. Okay, all right. Okay, so like I said, I preloaded rows 12, 11, 10, 9. In row 8, only the 2 outside ones. Okay? My nose, I'm just using a 4-inch half styrofoam ball, and they should be in tomorrow. The lady promised me. We're having delivery delays left, right, and center, so I know USPS has some delivery delays. Everybody's having delivery delays these days. So this is just a 1/2-inch or a 4-inch ball. And what I did is I covered the 4-inch ball in these knee-highs that you get at the dollar store. Don't go and get fancy ones or expensive ones. Write the foam into the knee-high, and then I pull it tight. And then it gives it almost like a, you know, a skin colored nose. make sure they're all pulled. And then I'm just going to take a floral pin and then I'll glue it. So just pull it nice and tight. Actually, I'm going to zoom down. Yeah, so you have enough here for, I always put two knee highs on. If you're very, if you're precise, you can use you can do it 2 times with 1 knee high. I can't be bothered, so, but you can use 1 knee high and double it up. There we go. So now we have a skin colored nose, and you don't have to paint or anything. Pull it tight. I'm going to throw a floral pin in there, and then I am going to glue it as well. I'll just make sure it's tight. I do have 4-inch half balls coming. This one's all hacked up because I cut this one myself. Okay, there we go. Now I'm just going to cut these ends off. So like I said, if you do it precisely, you can use 1. So I could probably slip this over again. Or maybe not. Yeah. So you could use 1. Actually, I'm gonna just leave. You can use 1 knee high. I'll just put this to the side, and now I'm going to cut this end off. Just slip another floral pin in there. I'm being lazy today. I'm doing everything the easy way because I'm lazy today. It's Sunday, right? Hi everybody. Hello, hello, hello. If you guys wouldn't mind clicking the share button for me, that would be wonderful because I did not put a thing out there that I was going live. So if you could just share it on your own pages, that would be fabulous. So I'm just sticking some glue in there. Just hold it down. And this is for his nose. Ow. A little bit of glue over the floral pin. Holy frig, this is hot stuff. This is very hot glue gun. Holy moly. Holy moly moly. Alright, let's put this aside. His nose is done. His hat is ready to go. I will be putting some of this foam or polyfill stuff on the top of his hat just to make it a little more plush. You don't have to. This hat is really, really thick. So you don't have to if you don't want to use this. I'm going to try it. This is for myself anyways, so. All right, let's zoom down. All right, so I'm going to be using my Measure Buddy because this is exactly one of the projects I made the Measure Buddy for. Is because we use different lengths, no matter if it's ribbon or if it's yarn. I'm using deco tubing. People use strips of faux fur. Whatever you're going to use, we're going to do it in different lengths because we want the beard to go into a V shape. Okay, well, you can have it straight across. It's your gnome, but most of the gnomes, the beards go in a V shape. So what I have done, because again I'm lazy today and I don't feel like thinking, I've actually wrote on my board what inch they are, where I'm putting the pieces of raffia and deco tubing. I wrote how many inches they were going to be. 14, because you will not see this. Upside down. So the 3 center ones in the board I'm doing at 14 inches. So you'll see the number 12. The number 12 is the very center of the board. So I'm doing the number 12, 14, and then one beside it. And then I'm doing the next two 12 inches. And then the last outside one, I'm doing 10 inches. Now, if you want your beard really long, you can change the increment. So you can go 16 inches, 14 inches, and then 12 inches. It's totally up to you. I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough of this deco tubing. I have little, because I use it all the time, so I have little pieces elastic all over the place. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to use it because I'm going to put this on my front door, and this stuff is weather resistant because it's just like deco mesh. So it can get wet and everything. And even this raffia I'm using, it's also plastic, so I'm not worried about it getting wet either. The only thing I don't want to get wet is the hat, obviously. Hi, everybody. Okay, so that's row 12. So 14 right in the center, 14 on either side, 12, 12, 12, 12, 10, and 10. And then the next row, I'm doing 10 and 10, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, and then still 1 14. And then the row 10, I'm doing 10, 10, 10, 10, 12, 12, 12, 12. And then row 9, I'm doing all 10 inches. And row 8, I'm doing all 10 inches. And this will make a very full beard. And as it layers, you'll see the beard go into a V shape. No, you know what, Michelle? The deco tubing is just too expensive for me to import in. That's why I haven't got it in lately. It's really expensive. I'm only using it because I have it. If you use yarn, I didn't have any natural colored yarn, and because it's a scarecrow, I kind of wanted to keep with the burlap color. Yeah, you could probably spray the hat, most definitely. So if you want to use yarn with raffia, that'll work as well. If you can get or even if you got a lot of twine. You know, the twine is burlap, it's jute, right? Let me see, do I have a roll somewhere? Twine. Jute twine. I know I have some, I just don't know where. You guys know the roping, the jute twine. You can buy it at the dollar store. It's thin. You don't want to get the big thick stuff. But if you get, you know, a few rolls of the jute twine from the dollar store and wrap that around, figure out how many times you need. You know, I think it would probably be maybe 10 times around the Measure Buddy. That would make a very cool beard. Really cool beard. Just jute twine. And I know I have some, I just don't know where it is. Anyways, okay, let's get started. So I have the end of my deco tubing and the end of my raffia. I have my raffia on a spool holder here so I don't get it all over the place. And so now I'm doing 14 inches. These two are going to be 14 inches. Hello, Lolly. Hello, did you guys get wonton soup? Kristen did.
I didn't see any for me.
Because you had some yesterday.
So did you.
Okay, so I'm doing 14 inches, so you just pull the Measure Buddy out on number 1 all the way to 14 inches. So number 1 goes all the way out to 14 inches. I'm just going to slide my stuff in here. And I'm going to go around. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went around four times, and I'm going to snip this off, slide it out. Okay, and this is what you have. I'm going to stick this end where I just cut right into the zip tie. Okay, and I'm going to zip it up nice and tight. No, we still call him Austin. Now you can leave it rounded like this when you're doing your beard, or I'm cutting mine because I want his beard to look ragged because he is a scarecrow. I'm cutting the loop, and then I'm going to cut the loop on the raffia as well. Okay, so you can see how it's longer here and shorter up here. This will all fill in. So now I'm going to make another one 14 inches. And I think as I get up to row 10 and 9, I'm probably going to add more raffia than deco tubing. I want to make sure the deco tubing is the base of the beard so you don't see through it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, depending what material you're using, you can decide just by playing around how many times you need to go around the measure buddy or around your measuring tool. Okay, and then I like to cut it as I'm going, because then I'm not digging through, because once we start adding all these layers, the beard is going to get very full. Okay, so the next two are 12 inches. So I'm going to push this down to the 12. There we go. And the end of my deco tubing and my raffia. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Slide it off and then slide it where you slid it off, slide it right into the zip tie and pull tight. And like I said, you can use, I think twine would look really cool. That would be a really cool beard. I should have thought of that before. And you would just use the, the inexpensive stuff at the dollar store. And get quite, maybe get 3 rolls of it. And it would make a cool beard. Add raffia to it too as well, so it looks scruffy and scarecrowish. All right, 12 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey y'all! Hey y'all! Oh, this one didn't go in. See if I can slide it in. No, I ain't bothering with it then. Okay, last one on row 12 is 10 inches. So you move your measure buddy down 10. One, 2, 3, 4. So what's everybody up to today? We had such a storm last night. It was unreal. Unreal. So Dave, this morning, so we live in Niagara Falls, and our new warehouse is in St. Catharines, which is like only 10 minutes from our house, okay? Literally 10 minutes from our house. So Dave drove out there this morning to make sure everything was okay, because it was like it was like a sheet of water coming down. So he went out there to see if, make sure there was no leaks in the roof or whatever else. And it didn't even rain there. I was like, really? It was brutal. Oh, I'm missing all the questions here. There we go. Cooking gumbo. Cooking gumbo. Watch, cleaning your craft room. All right, I'm going to, now you can start in the middle still again, or if you wrote down your inches, you can just start at the end of the row. So I'm doing 10 inches again on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now once I get the beard established, so which is usually the first 2 rows, like I said, I'll probably add more raffia than deco tubing. Deco tubing is kind of expensive. And like I said, you don't even have to cut the ends if you don't want. So I'm going to go down, since my Measure Buddy's already on 10, I'm going to go and do this 10. So if you've not heard of the Measure Buddy, it's just a measuring tool. You can measure from 8 inches to 20 inches without having to use all different kinds of gadgets. I started using little 4-inch zip ties. They drive me crazy. I'm like, why am I using 4 inches? And then I finally realized I was using 4 inches and went back to my normal 6 inches. All right, so we're going to do some 12s. So I moved it up to 12. And you can buy the Measure Buddy at uniqueinthecreek.com and .ca. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. This one jumped out of my hands. And then you're just slipping it in. You love your Measure Buddy? Yeah, they're pretty handy. I just throw mine in my little glass container with all my tools. Well, happy birthday, Donna. Belated birthday. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is natural jute deco tubing. However, I think it would look much better with twine. So go get you some twine from the dollar store. Get a few rolls. And just add some raffia with it and it'll make it really, really fall rustic looking. One, two. Uh-oh. Gotta start a new scrap piece. These are all just like scrap pieces I've had lying around. I have one full bag. So I'm trying to get rid of stuff. I don't know why my comments are not scrolling. Hello, hello everybody. We are making a scarecrow gnome. We're going to start off, I know I'm way behind. Everybody's into Christmas and stuff. I'm like, I'm still making flowers. Although flowers are for every occasion. They're like everyday flower wreaths, or for everyday use. Especially a sunflower. Sunflower you can use from spring right through to Christmas. Hello, hello my friends. Hello Marie. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that share button and sharing it on your page, that would be wonderful. Since I did not announce that I was going live, I just kind of popped on. Okay, so this one, see, good thing I wrote these down on my board. This one is the only one that I'm doing 14 inches again. So pull this right out. So we're gradually just getting smaller as the beard gets fuller, because you don't need to do all the middle 14 inches. It's just a waste of material. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can gradually, as your beard gets more full, you can bring the increments down. But you want the center of your beard longer. And like I said, the first 2 rows, you can see it's getting full. The first 2 rows is pretty much the base of the beard. And then once we get going up to these rows, they're more of to fill the beard up. All right, now we're going back down to 12. I love my gnomes. They're so fun. I can't believe how trendy they are now too. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll see sometimes I use the clip, sometimes I don't. You don't have to use the clip. You can just hold it with your thumb and then just slide it off. And then I let go of it, and then this is what happens. So as you can see, if you are going to cut your loops open, cut them as you're putting them in, because once you start getting all this mess, you won't see where your loops are. Hi everybody. Well, thank you for sharing. We are making a fall scarecrow gnome with deco tubing and raffia. Now you can definitely, you've seen me many times use yarn for the beard. I've used fun fur for a beard. I've used blankets for a beard. I think my suggestion for a scarecrow one, if you want to do one inexpensively, is get a few rolls of the twine from the dollar store and add it. Go around maybe 10 times around the measure buddy. Put some raffia in like I'm doing. So I'm wrapping the raffia and the deco tubing around at the same time. So I'm just doing it both at the same time and then sticking it in. Yes, I have a few things to show you guys tonight. It's going to be fun. As you guys know me, I'm a outside the box thinker, so, and then I love to make you guys outside of the box thinkers too. Why am I frozen? There we go. All right, let's clip our zip ties. Where'd my zip tie gun go? Let's go. Get to clip your tails. Do this row by row, and it'll save you time from picking up your zip tie gun or your wire cutters every time. And then it saves you time just doing it, clipping them all at once, and throw them in the garbage. Okay, so we got the length of our beard going. You can see how it is kind of gone into a point, so it's going pointed. Yeah, you can do that too, Jill Brady. That is a really good idea. I do have a bunch of that thick twine. Because we just moved in not too long ago, I am not quite sure where I had put it. And you can even use the cheapy twine as well. Just have to go around a few more times than I'm doing. Okay, so now we got the length of our beard. So now we're going for the fullness. So it's going 10, 10, then we're going 12, and then 10. Could probably go 10 all the way across, but we want to still keep that V shape going. So I'm going to move my measure buddy down to 10. One, 2, 3, 4. I'm maybe I was wanting to put more raffia in, but I think it looks good just like this. So by the time I'm done this gnome, he's about 2 feet tall. Now when you put the end ones in, like the side ones, make sure, and this is to go with Deco Mesh or anything, make sure you angle it and you don't put it straight in, straight up and down. Kind of turn your material, whatever you're using, side so it runs along with the board. Okay, and another 10. Yeah, the zip tie gun is really, really cool if you're doing like if you like to do lots of unique in the creek boards. What the heck? Because I use zip ties a lot. And what it does is pulls your zip ties so it tightens it, and then once it's tight, it cuts it at the exact same time. Fabulous tool. I do have a link on my website for the one I have. And they're not expensive. I think they're like $14. And I've had mine going on it's over a year now. So I'm one of the lucky ones that didn't get a dud. Some people get duds and have to send it back. And yes, this is flex tubing and a plastic raffia. So it's not, you can use the normal natural raffia. I just like how this one is on a spool and it keeps everything nice and neat, because you guys know if you're working with raffia, natural raffia, it's all over the place. You have it everywhere by the time you're done your project. He's going to have a full beard. All right, well, one more 10. Hope I'm going to have enough tubing. Although once I'm finished this row, I think I'm going to use more raffia than tubing. I bought the hat from a wholesaler, and I will be selling them later on tonight. They will be on our website. Alright, so now I'm done the 10 inches, so I'm going to bring it out to 12 now. Done with the, I'm using up all my scraps at least. All my scrap tubing. Yes, I got the roll at Paper Mart. Like I said, it's plastic, so it's amazing. And it keeps everything neat. And you can open it up and shred it like normal raffia too. I've done a wizard gnome. I made a wizard gnome using deco tubing as well. I used the silver deco tubing that was really sparkly and everything for my wizard gnome, and he turned out really cute. So if you like gnomes, make sure you tune in tonight if you like making gnomes. I love making gnomes. I make a gnome for every season. This is my absolute favorite thing to make out of all Unique in the Creek things. all Unique in the Creek things, the gnomes are my #1 favorite. Because when they're finished, they're so darn cute. They just make you smile. Yes, make sure you tune in tonight. Tune in tonight. 8 o'clock. Guys, I have stuff you're going to blow your mind. Because that's how I am. You guys know. I'm different. I love to be different. So if you wanted to, you could, like I said, open up your raffia and you can even shred it even more. If you think it's too thick, it is plastic, but it still shreds like raffia. I know, I find the neatest things all the time. Like, who would think to find plastic raffia? But if you've worked with matte raffia before, you know the frustration. Hi, Cree, you're back already?
Yeah.
Can you grab me another one of these seltzer waters? My oldest daughter is here doing her laundry. Actually, she went up. Where did you go, Cree? Muskoka?
No, I went,
She went up north somewhere.
Past Perry Sound, started with an L, I don't know.
Started with an L?
Yeah.
She don't know where she went, but she went there for a week. Really, Kristen? So she just got back, and of course she has to do her laundry, and she has no groceries, so she has to come to Mom's so I can feed her and clean her stuff. Now, can you guys see how full this is getting? Looks like a bunch of worms, doesn't it? Measure Buddy, yeah. If you just put it in, yeah, the search bar in the very bottom. Guys, we are we'll soon see Unique in the Creek looking a little bit different. We are getting a new website. It's almost done. And it will be, we will no longer have .ca. Our website will be able to do all countries. So it will convert our merchandise into American, Canadian funds. So I am so excited for that because you guys don't know how hard it is to manage products for 2 websites in 2 different countries. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know where I went. I went along for the ride.
You went along for the ride?
Yeah. I never know where we're going. They just say, let's go camping, and I say, okay.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little bit more raffia here. So I'm going to do these are all going to be 10 inches. So I think I'm just going to cut my tubing, and now I'm going to put the raffia and go around it a little longer. Let's see how it looks. And then slide this whole thing off if I can. I wrapped it too tight. There we go. Okay, so I put more raffia in this one than deco tubing. There, it worked. Again, the side ones you always want to angle, and you don't want to stick your material or whatever you're using, Decomash, anything. You don't want to stick it too far up because that will make it really bulky and you'll see the board. And you don't want to see the board. Actually, I think, hold on. I think the side ones I'm going to do like I was doing before. The middle ones I'll do with more raffia. Just want to make sure that these outside ones are full so you don't see the board. Hello, hello. Hi, Barb Gordon. How are you? How was you doing? Okay, the last of my extras, and then I'll have to open a fresh package. I might have enough here. These have been kicking around, extra pieces, so I'm using it all up. One, two, three, four. So like I said, if you're just joining us, we're using a Unique Creek triangle board. We are making a scarecrow gnome. I am using deco tubing, or otherwise known as flex tubing. I had it laying around, so I figured I might as well use it. However, as I'm making this, I think like a jute twine that you get from the dollar store, combined in with some raffia, would make an awesome looking beard too, because the jute twine is burlap. It's just strings of burlap. So you can make your gnome an actual burlap beard. I think that would be super cool. All right, I'm going to try with some raffia. And then I'm just going to go around it twice with the deco tubing, since you can see how full it is. Let's slide it off. This is kind of tricky because the deco tubing has a little bit of elasticity into it, so, and I'm pulling it tight kind of around there. So when I let it loose, it wants to pop out of my hands. And then I'm cutting the loops here. You don't have to. You can keep them. I just want it looking scruffy looking. Oh, we have a few more to do. That one's too short. I'm trying to use up some of these pieces. One works. So you're just sliding it off your measuring. And then just don't let go. You stick it right into the zip tie. Hold it and then pull it tight. So you've seen me do this with yarn a lot. I do my Santa gnomes with white yarn. You can get the thick stuff now. I've used the furry yarn. The furry yarn works the best for a beard because it actually looks like hair. I'm totally missing all the comments. I apologize. Okay, few more. So I'm going around with the raffia about 8 times, and then this is just because it's pretty much the last row. So we're just filling the beard in. We don't need it for length. And then you stick the whole thing right in to the zip tie. I was trying to find a piece of straw. I have a plastic straw, not raffia or anything, that looks like a wheat husk or something. And it's in a bin that I probably have not unpacked yet. So this whole row is still 10 inches. I love my gnome wreaths. My favorite thing to do. And they're great sellers. Because nobody, you know, people are, they love gnomes. And you don't really see a 2.5 foot gnome wreath in stores or anything. So. Oh, last one on this row. And the only reason I'm doing these 2 rows is because his nose is going right here and his hat goes over his nose. So I want to make sure you don't see the board here. So I'm just putting some extra right there. And this is, we're going to go around normal with this one. 2, 3, 4. If anybody has any questions, just type them in the comments. Tina Kelly, our wonderful, wonderful Tina Kelly, is in the comments answering questions. She is one of our Unique in the Creek assistants, so she knows more than I do, so if you ask her something, she knows it. There's times where I even have to ask her something. All right, now let's go across, cut all these off. Whew, almost done. So we got 2 here and 2 here, and they're just 10 inches, and I may not even have to open this one. Yay! I have a whole pack here, but I've been using all my scraps, so I might not even have to open it. Actually, I'll use more raffia than the tubing, that way I don't have to open it. So this is 10 inches again. Now I think I've probably made a gnome for everything. I made a Canada Day gnome. I made several Santa gnomes. I've made a wizard gnome. Did I do a witch gnome yet? Heidi, you'll have to check on the replay when it's finished, because they're in different increments, and I did explain that at the beginning. So it would be really hard for me to explain it right now when I'm almost done. So if you wouldn't mind just checking at on the replay. Thank you, Heidi. It's really easy. I've done 14 inch, 10 inch, and 12 inch increments. He's got quite the fierce beard here. He is a scarecrow gnome though, so it is going to look really cool. I think I'm going to have enough without opening it. And guys, I barely made a dent in this raffia roll. And this raffia roll was 2 something. You could probably get away with making a whole beard with this one roll of this raffia that I told you guys about at Paper Mart. Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome, welcome. We are making a scarecrow gnome with raffia and poly jute deco tubing. However, you can use yarn, you can use fun fur. I've done quite a few with fun fur. The fun fur one's nice too. And then I was suggesting maybe doing one with twine that you can get from the dollar store. It's a lot of wrapping, but it would be inexpensive and it would look really cool. So you can get the Measure Buddy and the Unique in the Creek board at uniqueinthecreek.com and uniqueinthedeepcreek.ca. You can also get them on Amazon.com. You can get the boards, or you can get the Measure Buddy and the boards at watermansloft.com. You can get them at Ranch House Wreath Supply. They sell the Measure Buddy and the boards. You can get the boards at Deco Exchange and Trendy Tree. They don't have the Measure Buddy, but they have our boards. Okay, last one. Again, the edge ones, you want to make sure they're kind of going along. You don't want to put it straight up and down. Turn it so that it's going along the edge of the board. We are done this crazy beard. You're in Buffalo. I'm not far from Buffalo. My family lives in Buffalo and I can't see them. Haven't seen them in like 7 months. Okay, we are done the beard. So you just close your Measure Buddy up and just put it in your caddy. Okay. He's got quite the beard, but it is super, super cool. Actually, I'm seeing, I might put, because the raffia, I might put some raffia in between here and here and here and here. I think I will. Just raffia, no deco tubing. Let's cover that space there. So you just go down one hole, up the other. You'll see on the board there's actual lines for the holes. Yeah, shipping, there is a lot of things going on with shipping, not our shipping, well, our shipping too, but it's everybody's shipping. It's like a whole nationwide thing with shipping being so slow, and they're losing things. So I'm just sticking raffia in here into these 2 zip ties just to cover this space here. There we go. The zip tie gun, if you go onto my website, uniqueinthecreek.com, go all the way to the bottom, and all the tools I use, well, I like to use, are at the bottom there. And it'll take you to the exact Amazon link where I purchased mine. There we go. There, that's better. Now I'm happy. Now I'm happy. Alrighty, let's see now. Oh, much better. Much, much better. Okay, so now we're going to start, let me clean up here, because we're going to start his hat, and then we'll decorate his hat. We'll put his nose on. I'll probably use some raffia on his hat. So we'll just clean all this up. There we go. Okay, so this hat I cut in half. It's very, very stiff felt. It's really thick. I don't know if you guys can see that. Awesome material. I did cut it in half. You don't have to. There's the seam. You can take the stitching out of the seam and then just cut down the other side. I'm just going to be gluing the hat right onto the board. Okay, but I'm going to decorate his hat a little bit first, and then I'm going to put some batting, which I probably don't even need, because this stuff, I like to use batting when I'm using fabric for making a hat for a gnome, but because this stuff is so thick, I really don't even think I need the batting. Hi, honey.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. This isn't your one for tonight.
No. I'm just playing.
You're just playing.
I'm just playing. Burlap ribbon. Just going to make a little patch. Take some of this, so it's a little bit frayed. We want a little bit of fray, because it is a scarecrow. We can put a patch like that. How about a plaid patch? This is just ribbon. So I'm just going to cut a square. And you can decorate your hat however you want. Sheila, I'll have the hats later on tonight on our website, along with lots of other stuff. Okay. So I took the wire out of the ribbon. I'm just going to make a little patch. Look how cute. And I was going to use sunflower, but I'm going to put the sunflower on his hat. But I think I'm just going to use another piece of burlap. And like I said, I'm not even going to batten it, because this stuff is really thick. But I like to make the hat kind of look plush, you know, like almost like a stuffed animal plush, but with this stuff you don't need it. All right. There, that's cute. Let's just glue it on. And there's no rhyme and reason. It's a patch. This plaid ribbon, I have no idea where I got this plaid ribbon. I would check all the main sellers that, like Deco Exchange and Trendy Tree, Waterman's Loft. They all just got a whole bunch of new stock in. And I'm sure you can find something really similar. Isn't that cute? And then we'll put another one, I don't know, maybe, how about right there or something, like right there. It's a scarecrow. You can do whatever you want. Scarecrow gnome. There, that's good. So you decorate your hat. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, now this I had cut. I'm going to glue it back on his hat. Just like that. And then I'm going to put this little sunflower on his hat as well. I'll put the sunflower on after I get his hat actually on the board. Okay, so now I'm going to take my board. Let me clean up again. over the place, Laura. Try and be neat and tidy. Never works. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, he doesn't need batting with this hat whatsoever. So, like I said, normally if I'm just using fabric, because a lot of times I've made hats with just fabric, I do put a piece of batting under it to pad it. But again, this is really thick and it definitely doesn't need it. So I'm going to put it face down. And I'm going to put the board, because I'm just going to glue the hat that I cut in half. I'm just going to glue it right to the board. Just make sure it's kind of centered. Now I've made hats with ribbons, all ribbons. I've made them with fabric, like I said. There's all kinds of tutorials out there. So what I'm doing is I'm just close pinning them right to the board, the felt right to the board, almost like a little grip thing, or not what they called. I don't know what they're called. You're loving it? Well, I'm absolutely glad you're loving it. It's going to look really cute when we're done, I think. It's always, I think. So this I just put clothespins on the time when I'm gluing, because then it just saves time. Then you don't have to, you have your hands free. Oh my gosh, he's so cute already, and I didn't even put his nose or anything on yet. Okay. Now I'm not going to glue the brim of the hat. I'm just going to glue, and I'm not going to glue it really tight right to the board. I'm going to leave a little bit of a space. There we go. So that it's not, the edge of the board is not actually on the edge of the felt here. There's a little bit of a space here. Hold on, I gotta plug my computer in. It's gonna die. Okay. These off. I might have to. I'm going to put his nose on. Now, if you've seen me at the beginning, this is a 4-inch round styrofoam ball. Okay, 4-inch round styrofoam ball. All I did, I covered it with what are called knee highs. And these I got at the dollar store. You know, knee highs. We used to wear them when we went to work and all that. I slipped the knee high over the foam. And I used 2 knee highs to give it more of a natural color. And then I just put some floral pins in to hold it. I glued it, and then I cut the excess knee high off. In this pack, you actually get 4 of them, so you can do 2 gnome noses with 1 pack of knee highs. And then you don't have to paint, and it gives you the actual, it looks like a natural colored nose. Now, for the nose, you can either glue it right on. Now, look how cute this is going to be. I think I'm going to have to fill in more for the beard, but that's okay. I'll just fill in more with raffia. Can you guys see how cute that's going to be? So the brim of his hat is going to go right over his nose. Now I'm going to, now if you're selling your gnomes, you're going to want to attach it to the board. So get yourself a pipe cleaner. If I was not showing this live, I would have just slapped some glue on the back of the nose and called it a day. But I'm teaching you guys, so we're going to put a chenille stem or a pipe cleaner. You're going to get a floral pin, and you're going to make an X in the center, just like this, right across the pipe cleaner. Okay, put some glue so it stays, and then you can twist his nose right onto the board. Yep, Dollar Tree sells knee highs. I'm going to fill in some of the, see when I use yarn, I never have to fill in any spots, but I think because the raffia is so thin, I'm just going to fill these in right here. Usually when you use yarn or fun fur, it definitely covers it, no problem. And we'll just do 10 inches. Well, that was an epic fail. There we go. Okay. Slip it right into the zip tie and pull. There we go. We got some that covers it all up now. And I'll do it again for the other side. 10 inches. So if you're just joining us, if you watch the beginning of the replay, because we're almost done, you'll see the increments I used. I used deco tubing and this plastic raffia, which comes on a spool, which is much nicer than the natural raffia. There we go. Okay, we'll cut some of these, or you can leave them looped if you want. Totally up to you. Okay, now I'm gonna, this is nice and dry now, just give it a twist, and I'm gonna put his nose right where the number 8 is. That is the center of the board. So I'm just going down. Make sure. Oh my gosh, look how cute he's gonna look. I can even go lower. Let's see if I go here, if it looks better. So a little bit lower, so his nose is like right, I don't know. It's hard to see. I'm going to go where the number 8 is. And I'm not going to twist it too tightly because I want it to hang a little bit down. And I'll glue it in place. So I'm just twisting it on the back. But it's not tight. Alrighty. So I'm going to glue the hat on the side of his nose so it stays, the brim is over top of his nose. So put some glue on the side here and on the side here and just hold it. Okay, and then I'm going to pump some glue up underneath the nose. Ah, angry faces. Why is there angry faces? How can you have angry faces when you have a gnome? He's adorable. Adorable, I'm telling you. Oops. Oh, shoot. Still not dry. I think I'm going to add some here. I just can see some bare spots, which I will just throw in some raffia. And then I have sunflower to glue on and I'm done. The hat will be for sale on our website, uniqueinthecreek.com, later on tonight, along with many other things. Make sure you join tonight because I'm going to show you guys some really cool stuff. Cool, man. He is cute. Now I need a little bird or something. A little bird or something on his hat would be adorable. Sometimes I've given them arms. I have like little hands coming out of their beard. All right, he's glued. He's in place. All right, now we'll glue on. We can take all these clips off now. I'm sure the glue is dry. These are just clothespins. And I have a sunflower. I think I'm going to give him a sweet little sunflower. Right about there. Get that glue gooped on there. Okay, now we can just, I'm just going to tack this edge brim. Now you can leave it if you want, leave the brim loose, or what you can do is just put a little bit of glue on the back of the board and fold it over loosely and put your little clamp thing on there. And that way it looks finished. Okay, his nose, I'm going to cut this pipe cleaner off, some of it, and I'm going to put the end of the pipe cleaner back down in the hole so there's nothing on here to scratch anybody's door. And I've then secured his nose, but I've also glued it. And then I just put some glue down in the hole. We're going to put a zip tie up in here so we can hang it. Now you can make a ribbon hanger. That would be really cute too. Oh, why do I have such a big zip tie? There we go. So I'm just making a little hanger with a zip tie. He is adorable. Look how cute. Now I think I'm gonna still add more raffia and stuff to it because I can see some holes, but let me zoom out. Because he is super cute. Is he not super cute? Maybe we could put something on, maybe put his rim up, his brim up on his nose. I love him. I love him. He's adorable. But anyways, I'm going to add some more here because I can see the board. I want it nice and full. But you can do a gnome wreath as a scarecrow and add your own little touches here and there. Like I said, use some twine and make a burlap beard for him, and it would look really super cute. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys join me tonight, 8 o'clock. I have lots of fun stuff to show everybody. And yeah, thanks for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.